it's Joe. I'm here at the airplane with that guy.
Hello there.
There's Ernie. We just want to see if the sound is working. Can you do a sound check?
Is this a sound check? Is this thing working? Is it working?
You know, like check 1, check 2.
Check 1, check 2.
All right, if you heard that, it's working. Let's get started. What do you think of that effect on my face there at the end? Hi, I'm Joe. This is a post that I put on LinkedIn a few 6 days ago, and it was about him. That is my entire IT department. He stayed up until 4:30 in the morning one day because I had something that needed to go out, and I've only known him for like a month. And he picked me up at the airport. That's Matt. You want to get to know him. That's it, Matt. And my friend Sarah is here. Hi, Sarah. We were in a play together at the Wharton School in 1992, and she was my TA, my teaching assistant, and I was Professor Cash. Thank you for coming. She came just for this. Okay, now I'll do some work. Where'd I get those pants? From the wardrobe department, yeah. How many people know who that is? Raise your hand if you know who it is. One guy? Two? That's Puddles. He was on America's, what do they call it? Got Talent. I don't watch the show. I don't watch the show, but a friend of mine liked him on Facebook, and I discovered him, and then I was listening to him for like a really long time. Why did I bring Puddles with me? You might ask. And I would answer. And I would say, Puddles, his full name is Puddles Pity Party. And so I would like to start by asking the audience, who feels pitiful about medical device marketing? Who doesn't like it? It's not fun, it's hard, got harder. One person, one honest person in the room, everyone else is happy? Then my talk here is done. Thank you. Well, I had a backup plan just in case that happened. Puddles, I just saw this. Puddles is appearing in a number of cities, and while that may not be relevant to you, the fact that you can buy tickets on YouTube is relevant. Now, not for medical devices, but there's a lot of different ways to do a lot of different things, and, well, Puddles is a good example of it. Don't look at me like that. Okay, so I was here last year, and because I was here last year, I have had to look at that picture for an entire year. It's like, what was I thinking? What was I doing? And why is it right on the homepage? These are all questions we want answered. So after this, where's the photographer? Take lots of good pictures of me. I got my jacket on. Anyhow, so let's make sure we... Yes, please. Okay, I'm going to do just one slide from last year because it's, frankly, the most important thing I have to say. If you are in business, this is like the one slide you take a picture of with your phone, so you can all get out your phones and take this picture. You have to fill in these 5 blanks to make sure that you know what your positioning statement is. It's not romance copy, but you got to make sure that you know precisely who your target is and how you're going to market yourself and what the primary benefit you deliver is and how are you going to support those claims. I talk a lot about it, but not today because I have more things to show you. You're the first to see this video. I'm very excited about it. Now, more than just being a commercial for me, and I am as great as they say, I needed just some way to finish this thing, but in my little advertisement for this presentation, I said I was going to tell you the one thing you need to know. And the one thing you need to know is you have to do content. You have to produce things, because if you don't say things that are relevant, I am not going to listen. How many people use ad blockers? Good third half of the room. Well, we block out everything we don't want to listen to anymore because we can. Technology has let us. So if you have something that you want to say to someone that you want to buy your stuff or your service, you've got to make sure it's relevant. And it's not good enough to just put a 2-paragraph blog post together and say, well, I blogged. No. Either it's remarkable or it's not going to get seen. Who knows where that movie's from? What picture that is from? I love that film. But the reason I chose that particular picture is because I had a really bad depression last year. I'm telling you this. And whenever I get depressed, it is typically work-related. Anyone ever do that? You don't have to raise your hand, but I know you're out there. And the thing that I was really struggling with is content the only answer? Because I don't want to write all this stuff all the time. And I have clients who have really tough things to talk about. And I don't know how to talk about it for them. So what are we going to do? So I'm better now. Thank you for asking. Some of you in the room are hearing this talk and are thinking, he's weird, and when will he finish? Others are thinking, if you're telling me I need to make content, I don't know how, and I'm afraid. And that is not an unnatural reaction. And that is another not unnatural reaction. I really don't know what I'm doing here. How many people saw the video promoting this event? Show of hands. Okay, well then you get to watch it.
Oh, I'm back, baby. Me and Golka together again, MedTech Monday, January 22nd. In my presentation, I'm going to discuss the fundamental change to medical device marketing and the thing you have to do if you're going to be successful. This fundamental rule applies no matter who on this list you are marketing to. I hope to see you January 22nd, where I'll be joined by Michael Wickert, Rand Brenner, Michelle Lott, Nick Anderson, Ken Hubbard, Scott Hamilton, Laura Nobles, Carl Mayer, and of course, Dan Golka in his third MedTech Monday, January 22nd, Costa Mesa, California. I hope to see you there. Stay tuned.
I show you this for a couple of reasons. One, I enjoy watching it. Two, because I want you to know that that 35-second spot, that's my front yard, and I stood out there with a camera for 35 minutes because I was wholly unprepared and I didn't know what I was going to say. And you know all those swipes? That's because I never said more than 2 sentences at a time. And my video editor made it look like it was exciting that I didn't know what I was talking about. The point is that we use less than 2% of the footage. So if you're thinking, I really don't like being on video or whatever, get over it if you have something to say, because you can leave all of the bad stuff on the floor. And we had a lot of bad stuff, 98% of what I shot.
Oh, I'm back, baby.
Okay, I
Me
know
and
I'm
Golka.
back. Whenever I have these videos, I don't know what I'm supposed to push. So I posted this on my timeline, and it got 5,560 views. That's a lot, right? And I can't think of any other event that did something fun like this that might engage someone just going down just like, come to blank, blank, blank. So this got views, and it got comments, and it got likes. How many are a member of the medical devices group that I lead on LinkedIn? Hi. 2 weeks ago, I was talking about the new event that I host every year, the 10X Medical Device Conference. Now I have a new partner, and so I had to do some rebranding. And it came down to 2 designs from my graphic guy, and I could not choose. And I said, why don't I ask the world instead of me choosing? Because instead of saying, will you go, I can say, what do you like better, green or orange? That's not so intimidating. And so they came and voted for what looks nicer. I'm not saying give me your stuff or your email. What color do you like better? And once you choose that, I didn't put this in the presentation, there was a place where I said, if you are doing design, development, manufacturing, or commercialization, then you should fill this in and I'll send you the brochure, which I happen to have printed out and they're in my secret back pocket. And I printed both of them just so that, actually orange won, but the point is that I didn't know what was going to win, and I just thought it'd be more interesting in the conversation, and I'm looking for people to become interested in what I have to say, just as you are looking for people to become interested in what you have to say. I'm going to be speaking at South by Southwest, and I didn't go ever before, but my friend Dave did, so I just kind of inserted myself into that picture, and I just thought it was entertaining. I laughed. Oh, this one I really enjoy. That's my dog, Brooklyn. He's the older of two King Charles Cavaliers.
Nice.
Better than scratching an itch. Joe and Dave at South by Southwest, March 11th, Austin, Texas. Be there.
So, you know, you might be thinking, okay, he's a bit of a character, he's using a garbage can, and this is not a typical presentation. I grant you that. So what does this have to do with me? Because I sell ball screws, or I do services for, you know, regulatory, it's really serious stuff. Well, this is a video that was done for a client of mine, Imicor. And you've never heard of them or their technology, but I'd say if you watch this 15-second clip on their homepage, you immediately know what they do. You can get an ultrasound picture of the heart using a probe down an esophagus. Now, is that hilarious? No. But relative to the site that they had before we started talking, they said, here's the game changer in cardiac blah blah. I don't even know what they said. And this says, this is what we do. Here's another quick video, and it has to do with telling a story.
It's a three-step formula. Follow this formula, people will watch every second of your video, read every word you write, read your emails, your sales copy, and more. People like stories. There are three parts to a story. It starts with some context, then it goes to the inciting incident, and then it goes to the resolution. Context. So my friend asked me how to. Context. Inciting incident. But he didn't know how to create content. How could he do it if he's not a writer? Conflict. Resolution is, well, the answer is, I've got a three-step formula, which I just broke down for you. Context, inciting incident, resolution.
His name is Derek Halpern. He has hundreds of thousands of followers, and he's committed to put out a video every single day this year. Now, I will not be doing that, but he's a storyteller, and that's how he gains his audience. Derek Halpern's his name if you're interested. So the next one I'd like to show you is another one for that client, Imicor. I went to one of their sales meetings. So it was just the CEO, a room worse lighting than this, smaller than this. It was just talking. And I shot a video of it. And then I gave it to my friend Lucia, who works magic on video. And this is what she created.
Where are all the time complications and resource utilization coming from, right? It's not coming from the 50-year-old who has uncomplicated pneumonia. And it's not coming from the 60-year-old who has a heart attack and goes and gets a stent, okay? It's not coming from the, the 30-year-old who has, a uterine procedure in the operating room for whom, some simple methods might work, okay? 80 to 90% of the time complications and resource utilization are coming from the demographics, the high risk, and the complexity. This is what's driving the bus. So in the old days,
So I'll stop there. It's a 3-minute video. The point is, pretty dry material, but you put a little bit of color and music and it doesn't cost a lot. So the main message of today is, if you have something to say to someone, please be as engaging as you can. And if you say, but I'm an introvert and I really don't know how to write, well, then I showed you that flow chart. You're either on fire or you have to pay. It's a classic make versus buy situation. If you need to do it, you need to do it. And that's the only way you're going to get a message across. Here's one last example from this company. This is a slide they had been using for years. It was done by a hospital. And this, if you can follow it, because it took me a long time to figure out what they were saying, is how do you decide when to use this technology? And so we made a little video out of that, and we cleaned it up a lot. And I realize now that the video that I have prepared to show you next is not that, but that's okay, we're friends. We all make mistakes. Here's just another kind of approach to it. We started talking about how do you make a decision, and we said it's 3 steps. When your patient presents with these situations, use our 3-step method, and you can look at these 3 views of the heart, and then you can see right then how your therapy is working. And then you can repeat it as often as you need to. It's simple. It explains it, and that other formula was intimidating. This one's not intimidating. This one might get someone to say, okay, tell me a little bit more about that. Okay, this is the exciting part of the presentation. Who here does not have a smartphone on them? Raise your hand. Great. Everyone take out your smartphones. Raise them high in the air so I know you have them. Now I want you to send a text. I want you to just type in the word device to that number, 44222. Whoever does it first gets my applause and congratulations. Yes. Anyone do that first step yet? Then you got a message from me. It was a short one. I didn't say it was Joe, but I could have. And I said, if you want, give me your email address. And if you do that, you will get a link to my calendar, and you'll get a PDF of this. And honestly, I finished this presentation about 25 minutes ago, so I'll send you the slides if you want later. But what I just did, you can all unsubscribe tonight, now if you like. But anyone who played that little game just opted into my database. You're now in there, and you've essentially given me the privilege, and I'm very nice about it, and I say, if you'd like, and I tell stories, and if you like the stories, you stay, and if you don't, you leave, and that's okay. I started this presentation, I showed you that picture of Lost in Translation, where I was really depressed because I didn't know what to do about storytelling, because I didn't feel like I had anything new to say. So I decided that I was going to commit to writing 1 story a week, and I call it The Journey. And each week, I talk about some medical device marketing thing I did. Last week was the highest open rate I've had. And I think it is. No, it's the second highest. Anyhow, who here gets a 52% open rate on their emails? And then a 5% click-through over the total database. It's a lot. And the story I told was, I'm ugly, and so are you. And it's a story about how I don't like making videos either. But I have to do it, and the sooner I can get over how I look funny, or my skin complexion isn't right, or I'm balder than I thought, the sooner I can do my business. You see the little yellow area there? The difference there in that week is I dropped half of my subscribers. I sent them an email, happy holidays, I'm unsubscribing you. At some point in your life, you visited medicalmark.com and gave me your email address. In return, I've loved you, looked after you when you were sick, fed and sheltered you. But you never write, you never call, you never even open letters I email you. So this holiday season, I'm giving you something you really want, all the power in our relationship. Call when you want, write when you want, and I'll be there for you. Until then, I'll give you the space you need while you work through whatever it was that went wrong between us. I still love you. If by chance I've gotten things wrong, just click the button below and we'll continue on as though none of this messiness ever happened. A handful of people did, most people did not, and they were gone because they weren't opening, they weren't interested, and I don't need to be a pest about it. This is just a small graphic representation of my open rates and my click-through rates because I'm talking to people who are anticipating me every Wednesday, like clockwork, 8 a.m. Pacific time, that email goes out. And they're looking for a story, and the people who choose to stick around know that next week's story might be more or less outrageous than this week's story. So I've managed their expectations, and I have the pink area there is when I had a different email provider. Now I use a group called Drip. I'll send you a link if you're interested. I love it. I have 67 replies to my emails. People saying, that resonated with me, or that was funny, or why would you ever send this? Take me off your list, you idiot. And then I have some 324 people who said, I am not in the market for this stuff. So I merely talk to the 1,000+ people who are. And that's part of a communication too, that that's a two-way thing. So in closing, I am great, you are great too. You can text me if you'd like to get on my calendar or talk about medical device marketing stuff. I love this stuff, don't be afraid of it, okay? Now, for the camera, why don't we all stand and give me a rousing standing ovation? Really? Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.